Everything NYJ Podcast with Liam and Italy Jet.
It's on the afterburners. He's gone. Touchdown Jets. Brees Hall inside the 10. He's going to score.
First interception by Gardner.
Woo!
I like
Oh
it.
man, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. Let's get right into it. Ed, Fireman Ed, the legendary, the biggest Jets fan of all time. Fireman Ed, how are you doing?
I'm great, guys. How you doing? How's Italy Jet and Liam doing?
Ecstatic, man. I am super ecstatic. Gino, how you feeling, man?
I'm numb. I'm just numb. I don't know how to feel. I've had a lot going on today, and I'm still numb. I think it'll sink in with me tomorrow. I think that's what's going to happen. What about you? What about you?
I'm ready, bro. Listen, I can't wait. I wish we were playing right now. I'm ready to roll right now. I want to get that place rocking right now. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers, listen, the last time we played was Sam Darnold, and that was a great game. Like, Sam played really well in that game, and the place was rocking. In fact, I said to a few of my buddies, I said after the game, I said, that was like the old days, man. The stadium was rolling, and it was in December. We were shit. And but the stadium, let me tell you, the Jet fans are so hungry. I mean, we're starving. We're thirsty, bro. It's 54 years we haven't won a world championship. We haven't had a home playoff game. You guys were probably little guys when it's 21 years ago. It's 2002. We had our last home playoff game. We haven't been in the playoffs in 12 years. We're in a goddamn desert right now, and we can see the water. And guess who just appeared? Aaron Rodgers. He's bringing the juice, baby. He's bringing the juice. Let's go.
Absolutely. I want to say what's going on in the chat. We have Abby said she'll be working. So hello, Abby, wherever she is. There she is. We got Dark Soldier. What's going on, my friend? Oh, Dark Soldier, Italy. He's coming for you.
Yeah, all the shows that I'm on, he's my buddy in the chat, so it's good stuff. Then we got Armin. How you doing, buddy?
Armand. Hey, now let's go. Yeah, let's go. Vinny says, "Sup, Ed? Miss you, bro." That's Vinny and the Jets. We all miss you,
Love
Ed. It's good.
Love it.
Anytime we get to hear from you, it's always great. Dark Soldier. I want to see Aaron Rodgers suited up. I think we all do. I think we all freaking do, dude. Like I was just nuts. Like as soon as I heard this news, like I texted Connie Carberg because I didn't know what else to do, and like she's like my new bestie now. And I was just like, I called like my dad. I was calling everybody. Like I called my uncle.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. I felt like we won the Super Bowl. Like in that very moment, I'm like, that's it. I'm like, here it is. I'm like, because Ed, as you know, like I'm a younger fan. Like you said, I was 3 years old the last time the Jets had a home playoff game. The only bright spot Jet memories I have are the Rex days. So it's like all I really know. And I mean, Gino's a little older than I am, but like for the most part that he knows, we all know losing football. So it's like it's very rare that we get these kind of moments. So like as an older fan, you've been through all the bullshit. You've seen everything, the highs, the lows, the really dark lows. As an older fan, how does it feel? Like, is this like a surreal feeling for you? Is this a feeling that you haven't felt before? Can you compare it to something else? What are you thinking?
Well, listen, you really can't compare this to anything because Aaron Rodgers is on another level. Brett Favre was coming. He really didn't want to come here to begin with. So he wanted to get to Minnesota.
Right.
So, you got to put that in perspective. Aaron Rodgers, when you hear him on Pat McAfee say, I mean, I was out of my mind when I listened and that words, I had to play it back, man. I go back, he says, I want to play for the New York Jets. I was like, I just slammed my couch. I was like, finally, we're getting a break. We're getting a break that somebody actually wants to be here. Do you understand what had to happen for this to happen? Like in a regular year, okay, they're not bringing them to the NFC, so all that bullshit when you hear they're going to the Niners and all that, the Packers were never trading him to the NFC. That's number one, okay? Right. But the AFC, when you go down the divisions and you look at all 16 teams in the AFC, and in a normal year, 7 or 8 of them would have been going for Aaron Rodgers. Everything had to break right. Timing is everything. understand something. You start going through it, okay? He's not going to, in our division, he ain't going to play he's not playing for Belichick. He don't want no part of Chowderface. So that wasn't happening. The other teams, Miami's set with Tua, and you got, obviously, Josh up in Buffalo, okay? Then you go into the Steelers division. Pittsburgh normally would be in on him, but they got Kenny Pickett. Okay, Cincinnati's obviously, Cleveland, we know with Deshaun. And then you have Baltimore, which is going to stay with Lamar Jackson when it's all said and done, okay? You go into the AFC West. Vegas, he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play for Josh McDaniels. He's just like Belichick. Another push face. Didn't want no part of him. Normally, he would have gone to Vegas because the people hate him like the Raider fans hate Josh McDaniels. They hate him. You talk to Raider fans, they hate him, okay? So then all you have left there is what do we got? We got Kansas City, the Raiders, the Chargers. Who am I missing? Denver. Denver has with they're tied into what's his face from Seattle, Russell Wilson, and that's going to be a disaster with Sean Payton because Sean ain't putting up with his nonsense. That's not going to happen. And then your last division, he wasn't going to play for the Colts. The Colts they're not a top team. That was another team that the Titans would have normally been in that thing, okay? But because it shambles in their ownership, they're having shambles. They fired the GM, okay? And the kid from the coach over Vrabel. Vrabel's a great coach, but he's on a string, man. They don't know what's going to happen over there. All right? And the Texans are the Texans. But you would go through the AFC, and you normally have, I'm telling you, 6 or 8 teams being for Rodgers. So everything had to break for us. And finally, we got a break. And we got the team with the draft choices that we have and the young team that we're building. Finally, he looked, you see him. I was out there in Green Bay last year, okay? Well, I went to my buddy's house. We played his press conference. He's talking about the Jets. He goes, that ain't the Jets. He goes, they got some team. And he was extensive about what he was saying. All right? So he's seen it then. And then fast forward. Here we go. Let's go.
I'm so pumped up, man. I'm so pumped up.
Man. But, Fireman Ed, so when I was a kid, I always looked up to like fans because I used to work for the Rams. Okay. I had I had all kinds of mascot. There was a mascot there. And then you also got the cheerleaders, and I'm a flag guy. I was a flag guy for the Rams. But there was one guy. Yeah. There was one guy though that I looked up to the most as a fan. It's you. You kept me going being a Jets fan, and you just kept my spirits up the whole time. So I appreciate you for that. When people come up to you and recognize you, how does it feel for you?
Hey, listen, that's always humbling. Anytime that someone comes up to you and wants to meet you, right? Want to take a picture? The first thing you do, and I was taught this a long time ago. And my brother, God rest his soul, he died in September, Frankie. There would have been no Fireman Ed without my brother Frankie. So that's just I love him. I'm still hurting from it. 7 months, and I'm just whatever. That's another story. Anyway, my brother's always said from when we first got notoriety years ago, he says, when someone comes up to you, it's an honor. He goes, and you know what you do? You shake their hand and you ask them their name because that's personal. Because it's not about you. It's about meeting this person, make them feel good like they're making you feel. And when you have an opportunity to sign an autograph, to take a picture, I mean, what an honor that is. And I never, ever wavered on that. I feel that way to this day. I meet people. I just met a couple guys at a supermarket today, and it was an honor, so it's always an honor. And I appreciate your kind words saying that, I kept you going. I love that. That makes me feel good. Yeah. Thank you.
I actually have, you did some autographs through Let's Talk Jets. I have actually your autograph in the next room. A picture of you wearing 42 with I think you had like an American flag in your hand. It's in the next room. I'll have to grab it later. I was trying to look for it. Oh my God. And then like you came on. I'm like, I got to get going.
That's all right.
Yeah, man. It's awesome. But you're the guy. I watched you growing up all over TV and, it's like my earliest memories. I'm seeing you on TV waving your helmet. It's cool, man.
Let me tell you something. You guys, the young blood, you guys keep me going. I'm 63 years young, brother. I still got plenty of fire left in me. And you guys, when I talk to you guys, and I see all the young blood, I see how fired up you guys are.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. It just fires me up. It makes me realize and continue to do what I do and be thankful and honored that I'm able to. And when I hear young guys like you, and I talk to guys like you guys, and the ladies also, you know, there's plenty of young girls and older women that love the Jets, and it's just awesome, man. It's tremendous.
We're just pissed. I think the younger generation, we're just pissed. We want a winning culture, right? Yeah. I think that's what it is. But I think the Jets community love each other more enough to be like, hey, let's do this together. Because one of these days, we're going to win a fucking Super Bowl. We're going to go back to the playoffs, and it's going to happen.
This year, baby. This year.
And here's a good one. JR said, hey, Fireman Ed, he took a pic with my son's first Jet game and chatted with them for a second. Thanks to El Chapo for steering that up. Thanks again, Ed. So that's good stuff,
I love
man.
El Chapo, Eddie El Chapo. Love Eddie. Yep. And thank you for those kind words. Who's that from?
Junior Brower, looks like.
Junior Brower. Thank you, Junior. I appreciate it. And I hope you and your son and your whole family are doing well. And thanks for being Jet fans. I appreciate that.
Always.
So you've been to like some highs and lows Jet games and everything, and like obviously like so many people in the chat know you and have met you and have experience with you, but you haven't come without controversy. I mean, like you have your supporters and yet you obviously have your haters, which is very unfortunate. How do you balance all of that?
Hey, listen, when you have the spotlight and stuff, and you got a little 15 minutes of fame that comes along with the game, right? I never hedge from anything. I am what I am. You know, there was a lot of different things that happened through the years. You know, you got to remember something. I've been doing this Jet chant since 1986.
Right.
So when the stadium, I've been in the stadium, you know, since 86 doing it. And listen, you're always going to have guys that are going to have a problem.
Right.
That's just the way it is. I mean, and remember, when they drink it, you know, and football, that's a big crazy mix, and I get it.
Testosterone at 1,000%, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. But what happened was in like 2007, 8, 9, when the smartphones all of a sudden was a flip phone, it became a smartphone, and the smartphone comes, and now all of a sudden there's videos. Everybody could take videos. Understand, when I was been doing this, there was no videos. Only videos were the cameraman on a field there's none of that. You couldn't bring a video camera into a stadium. That was illegal. You couldn't do it.
That's true.
So now all of a sudden you got the cameras, and now the same things that have been going on for years are now, here's where it gets good. Now they could mess with you, and they have their boys filming it.
Yeah.
So now you're in a microscope, and this is what people don't understand, because what they do is, listen, when you have a little fame, all right, and I try to explain it to people, but they're always going to twist whatever way they want to go with it. Now, listen, There's people that love you, there's people that hate you. I can't control that. The only thing I can control, what I try to do, is I say, if you don't know me, if you knew me, and you don't like me now, if you knew me, you wouldn't think that way. You would think totally different. If you hung out with me, it'd be a different ball game. You'd understand where I'm at. I'm just a regular guy like we all are. Nothing better, humble, do the right thing. I'm blessed. I was able to get 80,000 fans on their feet, thanks to my brother Frankie carrying me on his shoulders. Otherwise, there'd be no Fireman Ed. But that's what happened. So now when these phones came, all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's another ball game going on. All right? And there's a lot of stuff happened that I'm not going to get into. But my family, remember, I'm with my family.
Right.
All right? Remember that. I'm with my family.
Right.
People understand that. So now they got to witness a lot of that stuff. You understand?
Yeah.
So when I was a fireman, I was a fireman. There's a lot of, you got little kids. I got a lot of people that look up to you. You got a responsibility. So now if you react a certain way, remember, it only takes one. It only takes 1 second. Your guy spits on you. They're not showing that. They're not showing that. They're only showing your reaction. You understand? Yeah. So I'm just telling you, plenty of stuff happened, and I had to step away for a few years. I didn't leave. I was there. I was up in my buddy's box. You know, he didn't want to be there, but I was up there in the box with him. You know, I was watching a catastrophe and looking at it. You know, they're doing the band. They got the band doing a Jet chant. They have contests. They're doing all kinds of stuff. It drove me nuts, but there was a reason. There was a reason why. Okay, and sometimes you have to take a step back because, you know, my family, it was no good. It would have hurt my family, and I couldn't do that. So,
Right.
you know, there's things that happen. But anyway, everything moved on. We moved on, was there, and eventually I wound up coming back, and you'll never see me leave again. So I just had to move my seats. My seats had to go to a little better spot so that I don't have any nonsense. You know,
what made you feel comfortable enough to come back and you think like, hey, like I am able to come back? Obviously, like you shouldn't have ever been in that situation. Like that's just from like a regular Jet fan speaking. All you have ever done was motivate everybody, get the crowd into the game. You've never hurt anybody. Like I don't understand like where some of your hate comes from. But at what point did you feel comfortable enough, and like was there like a certain reason that you said I need to get back down there?
No,
Was
what
there
was
like
happening was a lot of guys like Jay Capel was trying to get me back. There was a big push between Tyson Roush and all those guys were trying to get me back, and it was different fans. And I mean, I love those guys; they're the best.
Right.
Love them.
Yep. Yeah. Tyson inspired me to do this.
He's the best. I love Tyson, so he knows how I feel about him. And Jason, Jay Capel. I mean, these guys. Listen, what happened was it was just there was a lot going on behind the scenes. They were trying to. There was a lot of stuff going on. They were trying to get me back. They knew I was at the stadium. They knew I was there. Yeah. What happened was a Thursday night against Buffalo when they were dancing, when all the players were dancing.
Right.
Oh yeah. Jamal Adams and them.
I did not have my helmet with me, and I was fired up, to say the least. And I was sitting in the mezzanine, and I was low key, and all of a sudden, I don't know. I just looked down and I went, you know what? This place needs to get rocking. Let me see if I got anything left. Let me see what happens. So I went on a railing in the mezzanine. All right. And it was wild. When I went on the mezzanine, I throw my hands up. Come on, I'm raising the people. They seen me. They got up. It was like crazy. There was thousands just got up. And I was like, holy shit. They're still listening to me. So we did a couple of chants, right? Bang, bang. All of a sudden, I get a call from one of the guys at the Jets saying, "Is that you? Is that you?" And I gave him some explicits on the text.
Right.
You know, he goes, "Do that again." He goes, "Where are you sitting?" So I go, "I'll do it when I'm ready to do it." That's first off.
Okay.
I said,
all right.
You're not good. Let's get something straight. I'm not controlled by the Jets.
Right.
Tell me when to do it, when not to do it. So whenever you hear that, that's just bullshit. That's just listen. That's fake news. That's fake news.
Yeah.
So all I'm telling you, I do it spontaneous. You got to feel it, right? Obviously. So I went and then it was just insane. And it went crazy. And they put me on a screen. And when they put me on a screen, it was a Thursday night. It was Buffalo. You could YouTube it. I'm sure it's on there. It's all over the place.
Right.
And the place went bonkers. And I realized, you know what? I need to get back here. This got to happen because this is ridiculous what was going on. And I just said, okay. And then it just, slowly but surely, I just got back in, moved my seats to where I wanted to be. And the rest is history. I'm doing my thing. And thankfully, the fans, they listen to me. I'm humbled. I'm honored. And I don't take that for granted. I just don't. I'll never take it for granted. So.
Yeah, man, we're so glad that you're back. We really are.
Yep. It was very frustrating for me. Believe me. I love when I was here and I quit. I love that. I quit. I mean, listen to me. I got season tickets. Okay, since 1974. Okay,
Wow.
74. Me and my brother. My brother got the season tickets. He was 7 years older than me, Frankie. So I was 15 when I went to my first Jet game. Okay, he was 22. And Frankie took me. I've been going. This is my 50th year. This year will be my 50th year with season tickets, okay? I've seen more lows than highs, way more.
Right.
Way more.
Right.
Along with a lot of the fan base. Never mind just me. Forget about me.
Right.
A lot of the fan base, okay? But you love your team. You love your team, okay? When I was a kid and I was young, I didn't have any allegiance. My brother was older than me. I was a kid. I was 9, 10. I was a baseball fan.
Right.
My father did not he wasn't a football fan. So I liked baseball. When I watched football, I went with the best teams. I liked the Cowboys. I liked the Dolphins because they were the best teams at that time in the early 70s.
Yep.
Little do I know that years later I'm going to become a Jet. My brother asked me to go to the Jet game. I'm playing football. I'm 15. I'm playing football at College Point, home of champions.
Yep.
It's okay. We'll get him back. A little froze. It's okay. There you go.
Here he is. You froze there a little, Ed.
Yeah, he froze there a little bit. Can't hear you. Let's see, maybe there's. It's all good. All good. It's okay. There's a on the bottom there's a mute stop cam settings. You can go to settings and check your audio if you want. Yeah, we can't hear you. It's okay.
Maybe I'll have to send him the link again.
Yeah, send him a link again and we'll start over with it.
Let's see.
It's all good. What's it about technical difficulties? It's all good. We always do.
It's a live show.
It's all good. Here, we'll send it to him again. So technical difficulty, it's all good. We'll send it to him again. Connect their microphone and stuff. But we appreciate everyone hanging on. It always happens. But overall,
can you hear me, Gino?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool.
Right.
All right.
Right, Junior Brower. Right.
Yeah. Keep him entertained, Gino.
Right. StreamYard. Yes, JR. It's on StreamYard. That's correct. Yeah, you go to settings and then you go to the audio. Here we go. See, we got him back.
Is he back?
There we go.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
There you go. Gotcha.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, all good. But where I was my brother. Right, we had season tickets. So I ultimately went to the games and I became a Jet fan at 15 years old. So, and I've been going. It was awesome. I mean, my brother, that was Shea Stadium. That was the old Shea. So I was playing football in College Point, like I said, home of champions, College Point, Queens. And my brother goes, drop your equipment off to Dad. Give it to him and run over the Flushing Bay Bridge. We're under the Grand Central, where the Mets play now, Citi Field. Right underneath the Grand Central, they're tailgating. So I go under the tailgate, and there's all his friends. I'm 15 now, mind you. There's 22-year-old guys, right?
Right.
He goes to me, he says, "Hey, you want a shot Irish Mist?" I said, "What?" He goes, I said, "Yeah." So I have the shot. He goes, "You like that?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You want another one?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't tell Mom." I'm not gonna say nothing. And he goes, after the game, he goes, "You want to come back? You want to come back? You a Jet fan?" I said, "Yeah." I went to every game since, and that was it.
Wow.
Rest was history.
That was it. You know, who knew that I would wind up being Fireman Ed years later? But that's what happened.
Ed, we got a couple questions for you. Vincenzo, Vinny says, question for Ed, is there any truth to the Jets building a new stadium with NYFC?
Hey, listen, I would love to see that happen. I mean, I think the Jets should be back in Queens. They should be in New York. But do I think it's going to happen? I don't see it happening because I think Woody and them put too much money into Forum Park.
Right, I agree.
I just don't see it. I mean, do I want to be away from the Giants? 1,000,000%.
Oh, hands down.
1,000,000%. Anywhere but there. Anywhere but there.
Yeah.
But
anywhere in New York.
Let's win a world championship and we'll worry about it.
That's kind of something I wanted to ask you about that too. I mentioned this like pretty much like all of our guests, and you're the perfect person to have an opinion on this. Like I'm on Long Island, so
Right.
I grew up going to Hofstra at practices, the 2-a-days, going to the restaurants and seeing the players there. I went to Cortland a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, there's nothing New York left about the Jets. I mean, they don't come here too often. They never practice here. I was at Hofstra a couple weekends ago to meet the Sack Exchange, and Wayne Corbett was there and a couple other players. But other than that, there's nothing New York left about the Jets. How do you feel about that?
I agree with you. I think that the Jets are in New Jersey, and listen, there's plenty of fan base from Long Island and everywhere else. There's a lot of fans from a lot of different, from Connecticut. There's a lot of different.
Yeah.
The tri-state area, there's a ton of Jet fans. Do I believe that the Jets belong back in New York? 1,000,000%. Listen, I did a commercial for the Jets for the West Side Stadium years ago. Okay?
Yes.
As a fireman, and listen, I had a lot of battles with my fireman buddies over it. Yeah, that was a whole nother story. That's a whole nother thing. But they knew where I was at. They knew where I was coming from. I should have just worn my white helmet and my Jet jersey. Instead, I wore a New York City Fire Department T-shirt, and they were more mad at me because not everybody thought the same way, you know. But now, when you look back on it, they would have loved the West Side Stadium. They would have loved the West Side Stadium. That is such bullshit. Okay. And but then you come to realize that Dolan had a lot to do with it, and Sheldon Silver went to jail for it. That's a whole nother story. You guys are too young to remember that stuff. But that was I had a lot to do with trying to get the Jets back to New York. All right, so you know, our president at the time was Jay Cross. The vice president was Matt Higgins, who Matt's really big. He's in Shark Tank now.
Matt.
Got his book out. Matt's a great guy. He's a Bayside boy. Love Matt. Yeah. Love Matt. Matt's top shelf. I know Matt. And so I was involved with all of those guys. I was involved with Woody Johnson, with all of that, trying to do the right thing. And I didn't get one dime for it. Not one dime. I didn't take one effing penny. Not one effing penny did I take. Okay? I wanted it for the Jet fans. I want us to have our own stadium. Our own stadium. Our own identity. That's what was the whole point of it. All right? Yep. And if they would have said it was in Jersey and somewhere in Jersey, but not with the Giants, I would have went for that. If they said it was in Long Island, I would have went for that. They said it was in the city, I would go for that. Wherever, to have our own place. That's what I want for the Jet fans.
I've always recommended knocking down the Coliseum and building a stadium there. I mean, the Marriott's across the street. I think that would have been a good idea. If you don't mind me asking, what was Woody Johnson's opinion on it? Like, did he have a reason why?
Woody Johnson wanted the Jets in New York City. That's where he wanted them.
Okay.
He wanted them on the West Side, and it would have been great. He wanted them. Listen.
So he was on board. Okay.
Listen, Woody gets a bad rap. Listen, I don't get anything from the Jets. I'm telling you how I feel. This is how I feel. You know, I fight with Joe Benigno. I fight with these. Call me a shill. I don't want to hear this shit. That's all bullshit. Listen to me. It's all bullshit. All right? Listen, I want us to have our own identity, and I believe Woody Johnson wants to win. Period. Now, does he know how to win? No. Did he have a hard time? Remember, he's only an owner for 20 years. Okay? Yeah, it seems like a long time. It's not. All right? And he was also involved with, you know, going over to England.
Trump,
He has other priorities, okay, which you can take him to task for. But I know that his love for the Jets is real. He wants to win, period. And he's not afraid to spend the money. You got to come up with something else. When you go about Woody, you got to come up with something else. It can't be about the money. Well, I tell all fans this. Forget about the money because he spends plenty of money. That's not a problem. You can argue and you'd be right by saying he hasn't picked the right GMs. He hasn't picked the overall good for the team as far as personnel.
Head coaches and stuff,
that would be correct. I would agree with that. But it's not for the lack of trying. Do I believe he's got it right now? Yeah, absolutely I do. And I think he knows it. And I think all the Jet fans know it. I think the Jet fans know it. You're always going to have pessimistic guys. That's going to go on forever. It's never going to change. You're always going to have that. I'm a believer. Like, if you hang out with me, listen, the glass is half full. Way it is. I'm not a negative guy. I'm a positive guy. So if we're hanging out, and I'm just telling you, when I was younger, I'm obviously old now. I'm an old timer. Well, I still got one left. That's another story. But if we're hanging out, and I'll put it into simple terms, and you're out and you're with your boys, and say there's only 2 years or 3 years, and the guys are going to come after you, and there's 5 or 6 guys, I'm not going the other way. I'm going right at them. Right at them. Because this is what you do. All right? Because your allegiance and your love for something, it can't waver. You cannot waver. And I don't waver. I love the Jets, and I'll always love the Jets. I bleed green and white. Listen, when I die, it's going to be a medical miracle. They're going to take my blood, and they're going to go, it was green. It was green.
You're the Hulk's
The
uncle.
autopsy's going to go, he actually had green blood.
I believe it.
The way it is.
I believe it.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yep, that's the truth, man. I love them. I got my tattoo on. They'll always be with me. They're right next to me. They're right next to me. When I lay down and it's over, it ain't over.
It ain't over until Fireman Ed says it's over.
It'll be over.
Never be over.
No.
So in the comments, there's a lot of people that say you should definitely be on that stage when the Lombardi Trophy is being held up. I think there's a few guys that deserve that in the Jets community, including you. My question is for you, like when you're at the stadium, you see the screen and there's 2 people next to you. There's one on your left, there's one on your right, Jetman, and there's another guy.
Yeah, Scotty.
There you go. Do you have a close relationship with them? Is that okay with you, or you're okay with that?
Good dudes. They're great guys. I love them. They love the green and white just like I do. Scotty does a hell of a job, and so does Jetman. I have no problem with them whatsoever. I love them. We need more guys like them. So, awesome. I'm good with it. Listen, they have a hard time because, I've been doing it a long time. Right. So you got most of the fan base is listening to me, and I feel for those guys. It's hard to, I'm there a long time, man. That's all I can say. Right. But I know they do the best they can, and I respect the hell out of them. And I think they do a good job.
I love it with you guys. You guys bring the energy, bring the fire. My first Jets game I went to was last year at the home opener, and I felt that energy because I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not from New York. So flying out for my first game with you, it was amazing. Oh, It was amazing.
Awesome, bro. I love it. Love it.
There's a question in the comments here for you, too. Favorite Jet of all time, Ed?
My favorite Jet of all time is Bruce Harper. That's who I wear. I wear Bruce.
Okay. Yeah.
I hung out with him last week at Hofstra. I got his autograph, hung out with him. Great guy.
Bruce is the best. I know Bruce. I know him well. I love him. Some of my other favorites, obvious, is Joe Klecko. Mm-hmm. Curtis Martin is, at the top of my list would be Bruce Harper, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Mark Gastineau, Marty Lyons. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Mickey Shula fan, tight end for the Jets years ago. Freeman McNeil, Vinny Testaverde. There's been a lot of guys. There's so many guys I love. I love Nick Mangold. I love the Brickashaw.
Oh yeah,
love the Brick. There's quite a few guys that I love through the years. Brandon Marshall was one of my favorites. Brandon gave me his first game ball when he caught his first touchdown in 2015. Ooh. He took me right down to the sideline and gave me the ball while the game was going on. It's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
And I have, I know Brandon. I got his contacts. It's, a lot of good stuff. A lot of great memories. And we ultimately all want to win a world championship. Another guy I love was Braylon Edwards. Love Braylon.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of my childhood guys.
Listen, I love Braylon Edwards, man. I love Mark Sanchez. Love Mark. Mark was an underrated quarterback. Much better quarterback than he's given credit for. Much better than he's given credit for. They screwed him up. in the end, they screwed them up like they did, like the Jets do. The Jets have done that through the years with their quarterbacks. It's
Right.
They could say that about anybody.
I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So
It's true.
call it like it is.
Well, Dark's got a question for you. Ask Fireman Ed his thoughts on resigning McGovern. He says he likes the signing and he thinks he gets a bunch of hate. What do you think?
Oh, I love Connor. Connor actually is pretty wild. This is the first time ever I got. Connor sent me a jersey this year after the season.
Oh, cool.
Thanking me for the support. I was like blown away. It was the first time after all these. That's the first time I ever got an actual a jersey from a player. All these years, first time.
Wow.
I got to plug my iPad in because I'm going to lose you otherwise.
Okay.
This is what happens.
Okay.
This is what old men do. They don't know. They don't know how to. So I got to plug this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to lose you.
Hey, you do what you got to do.
But yeah, that's, so Connor. Yeah, I love Connor. I'm glad they re-signed Connor. I think Connor is, first off, he's reliable. All right.
Yeah.
And remember, he's playing with all these guys, man. He was playing with Zach, and these guys. It's been tough, man. It's been rough.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get a steady quarterback. I mean, I loved Mike White. I mean, I love what he was doing, but Mike can't stay healthy.
Right.
He can't stay healthy.
Correct.
Like, it's the way he plays. Now, it's just the way he plays, and you love the way he plays. I love the way he plays, but he had no luck. So, I think Connor McGovern's going to do good things for us. But don't be surprised if they still draft a center.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
we'll
I've seen that too. I want to get into some of the current players in the draft in just a second here. But you mentioned Connor McGovern sent you a jersey. Brandon Marshall brought you onto the field and gave you the first touchdown ball. Do you have like one specific favorite memory with like one specific player? Anything that really stands out to you?
Well, when we went to the playoffs, when we beat Cincinnati in that freezing cold night. The Jets came out after the game. If you remember, they circled. And Mark Sanchez, there's all film of Mark. He was wearing my helmet, took my helmet, was wearing it.
Cool.
I loved Mark. I mean, I knew his brothers, Brandon and Nick. I knew Brandon and Nick. His brothers, his father. Nick was a captain in the LA Fire Department. So we had a lot in common. We talked fire stories and enjoyed that. So Mark's one of my favorite guys, without question.
Nice.
When it comes to Mark Sanchez, it's really funny because Rex Ryan got a tattoo of Sanchez. Would you ever get a player tattoo of anybody?
No, that's
no.
I do have a tattoo of my helmet on my arm.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Hey, that's good enough. There you go. I love that. Love that.
That is awesome.
That's the only tattoo you're gonna see me get. The Jets. The other ones are my kids on my arm.
Oh, I love
There you
that.
They're next to my heart. So all
that.
three of them.
So when it comes to the draft, now that we made this trade, right? We made the trade for Rodgers now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see us doing in the draft now? Where do you see a direction that we would go?
I think we're gonna go beef. It's gonna be offensive lineman, no tackle. I think they got to get stronger on the defensive tackle position. We lost Sheldon Rankins and we lost Nate Shepard. They're a little small on the defensive line right now. We got a lot of speed. We got guys defensive ends. We don't have a lot of tackles. So I think they'll move JFM. I think they'll move JFM inside full time.
They better.
I think they're going to pull him.
He belongs there.
Full time. I have my arguments with Salah as far as his rotation. I mean, I'm not crazy about playing Quinnen 60% of the time. I mean, I don't get it. I think these guys, your best stars, Bryce Hoff should be on the field. Shit, he should be on that field. He's on 20% of the time. You look at Michael Nana. Michael Nana's got great, his breakdown of different things is second to none. That kid he's going places, that kid. And, his breakdown of different things. And, it's crazy. Like, you see the breakdown of the defensive line. You're like, what is happening? Like, what are we doing? you know. But who am I? I mean, Salah's a world champion, right? His defense actually, obviously, come on. I'm a believer your best players should be out there 3/4 of the time. I think they should be out there 75% of the time. You want to take them out 25%, I'm good with that. Because you want to give them a blow, I get that fresh legs, I get it. But to have like a guy like Quinnen playing 60%, Bryce Hoff playing 20%, come on. I mean, that's, I would have, it would be Hoff and Carl Lawson and JFM and Quinnen be playing 70 to 75% of the time. And then you rotate the kids in. You get Clemens in there. You get Jermaine Johnson. I mean, if they're playing, listen, the best guys play. Some guys, remember one thing, guys get nicked up. You don't even know about that. You have no idea.
Right.
The one thing we don't know about. So we don't know who's nicked up. But, that's where it comes in the game, where another guy's going to play 60%. There's a reason. You know what I mean? There's a reason. I get it. I'm just not into that whole, the way they're rotating. But, we'll see how it goes. But I do think we're going to get stronger at defense. I think you're going to see them. The first 2 picks are going to be big boys, big fellas.
Yeah. I agree. Offense and defensive line, especially with the offensive line. Now that Rodgers is here, he can't afford to be, getting sacked and getting injured. God forbid, man. Nope. Just God forbid. We got to do everything we can to keep him upright. I'm a believer in Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells says you can't get enough offensive linemen. We can't get enough. If they draft a tackle and a center in the first 2 rounds, you'll never get an argument out of me. There'll be no argument. Oh, yeah. I'm good with that. So, I want the big boys, and I especially want the offensive linemen, especially the offensive linemen. I think that's where you win world championships. Look at what they did with Mahomes. Look at what that KC offensive line did to the defensive line of the Eagles. Nobody, listen, they'll all bullshit you on Monday morning quarterback. Oh, we didn't do that. No, you didn't, because no, you did not. The Eagles were supposed to dominate that particular matchup, and the opposite happened. And that's how they won the game. They won the game because of their offensive line. They did. Yeah. They won the game. So you can't get enough offensive linemen for me, fellas. What are your thoughts on Mekhi Becton with him coming back? He looks to be in phenomenal shape.
I think Mekhi's got a major chip on his shoulder, and he should. And listen, and when he gets slack, it's gonna happen because you haven't played in 2 years, so it's gonna happen now. I want to see him prove everybody wrong. I'm a big Mekhi Becton fan. I want to see Mekhi. Mekhi in his first year could have easily been in the Pro Bowl as a rookie. Yeah. He didn't because he was a rookie. But he played he had a great year. Great year.
Yeah, he did.
And he's been dinged up and banged up and hasn't had any luck. But he's coming in ready to roll. You see his videos and stuff. He's now he's got Aaron, and he may have Aaron's blind side. We're gonna find out. So
he looks like an edge rusher. He's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. So let's go. I want all hunger, man. I want hunger. Aaron Rodgers is coming in here with a major chip on his shoulder. Major chip.
Right.
Like crazy chip. He's got a fucking chip on his shoulder, bro. And I love it. I'm like, that's what I was praying when I heard him talk on Pat McAfee. I was praying that he was gonna say,
right.
I'm not done yet. I'm not happy with the Packers. And I'm like, yes.
Right.
Yes. This is what you want. You want him to be hungry. He's coming in here. Listen, these guys are different, bro. We're fans. These guys are on another level. They're on a whole nother.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll give him some time. Yep. On a whole nother level. And he's right.
What are your thoughts on Mekhi Becton while we're waiting for?
Hold on. Here we go. There you go. So you're on a whole nother level. He's
on a whole nother level. Aaron's on a whole nother level. These guys are when you give them something, anything to fire them up, that's a bad move, bro.
Oh, I agree.
A bad move because they're gonna prove you wrong. He wants to win a world championship. I love when I heard Calais Campbell. I think he made the wrong move, but I understand why Calais Campbell didn't come because there's too many guys on the defensive line. I understand why he didn't come. because it's hard. But understand the Jets are trying to get Fletcher Cox. They're making the moves to get these guys. So Aaron Rodgers has a lot to do with that. He's telling them, come play. We're going to win a championship there. This is listen, this is music to your ears. Just raise the bottle now, baby. Raise the trophy. Let's go. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. We've been waiting forever. We're waiting.
Right.
You guys are young. I'm waiting a long time.
Yeah. You're good. You know what? This is what my dad said. Okay. So my dad is a diehard Blues fan. Okay. St. Louis Blues fan. When they won the Stanley Cup, my dad said, I could die.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. For me, Jets win a Super Bowl.
Now, what made you were St. Louis? What made you? You grew up in St. Louis, obviously.
Right.
Now, what made you a Jet fan? What made you a Jet fan?
You know, I played PlayStation, Xbox. My dad always got me those little McFarlane figures.
Okay.
These little McFarlane figures. So this is Joe Namath.
Oh, wow.
So he would get me all kinds of McFarlane figures of the Jets, always gave me jerseys. I would play with them all the time on video games. I met Geno Smith at the time.
Awesome.
But they just became my team through that. And
Good.
I never looked back. Back.
Thank you for being a Jet fan, my man.
Appreciate that.
He's like one of
hard.
6, and yeah.
Italy
It's
Jet,
hard.
baby. Italy Jet. Let's go.
Paisan.
Baby. I'm in on that.
There you go. Cusino Paisano. There we go.
That's it. There you go.
So
It's a baloney, full of baloney.
I love it. My
I was
goodness.
born and raised into it, man. So
Yeah, he was born and raised. I chose this life.
Family.
I chose
My
this
whole
life.
family is a bunch of volunteer firefighters on Long Island, so I could really
that's
appreciate
awesome.
you too. You know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love those
Yep.
guys. Let me tell you something. Long Islanders, they love their fire department, man. And
They do.
those guys, the volleys out there, they do a hell of a job. I worked with a lot of the guys that on the New York City Fire Department that are also volunteers out in Long Island for their communities. And listen, I've been out there numerous times at different firehouses, and I get nothing but love for all those people out there. Love them. Love Long Island. My daughters live in Long Island, so
Nice.
I'm a big
nice.
fan of Long Island.
Yeah, it's a nice place. You know, it's our little island, our little
there
crazy
we go.
island here.
Here we go. My dad is a retired Is that
The
New York?
FDNY.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, fire department in New York.
Okay,
My
so
brother
my
is an FDNY.
oh, cool. That's really cool.
Oh, your brother was at FDNY?
Yeah, so this Coca Lake Jet fan said my dad is retired. FD, so that's New York. and my brother-
FDNY. Yeah,
Oh,
Fire
cool.
Department in New York.
Hey, there you go. I love that.
FDNY. Yep.
How long?
Wait,
How long were you in the fire department for?
A
Sir?
little over 20 years.
20 years.
I was up in Harlem. I was up in the Harlem Hilton up on West 143rd Street, the fire capital of the world.
Ooh.
Let's go. Let's go. The boys are still
We have-
rolling. Boys
Yeah.
and the ladies are still rolling up there.
Oh man, I love that.
We have Sideline Report here. Sideline Report is actually a Packers fan. Hope y'all enjoy Aaron Rodgers. He's still a bad man, and I'm happy he was on my team for 28 seasons and brought the Lombardi Trophy back to Green Bay. Cool, man.
You ain't
Hey.
lying. You ain't lying.
Ain't
I'll tell
lying.
you what. They've been blessed
18.
up there in Green Bay. They've been blessed up there with their quarterbacks. And,
Yeah, they have.
I'm blown away by Aaron Rodgers. What they did. That organization made a bad move, but hey, we lucked out by being in the right place at the right time. So I'm excited. Just remember one thing, guys: enjoy the journey.
Right.
It
Enjoy the
starts.
ride.
Listen to me. It starts April 24th, 2023. Enjoy the journey,
Right.
because what we tend to do is we look too far ahead. Don't look too far ahead. Just enjoy the journey, because we're going to stack wins. We're going to, just like I said on my Instagram today, and this was
Okay.
spontaneous, and this came from the heart. It was 2 minutes after the trade was announced. I waited, and I knew what I was going to say, and it came from my heart. The mission, stack the wins, get home field throughout the playoffs for the first time in Jet history, and the Jet fans will do the rest.
Which
The
we will.
Jet fans will do the rest, because we will not lose at home in the playoffs, it won't happen. I'm telling you right now. The fan base is there. You got a bunch of crazed dogs that are going to be in there. Crazed dogs. And I'm going to tell you something. And then we'll go to Vegas and we'll take over Sin City. There'll be no sleep. There'll be no sleep.
No.
We're going to have to bring back the Beastie Boys. No sleep till Brooklyn. No sleep till Brooklyn.
You give me goosebumps, Ed. You give me goosebumps.
What I'm telling you. So one thing at a time. Let's get Aaron in here. I just heard Schefter just before I got on what you said that he plans on being at all the OTAs.
Right. Yeah.
Which tells you all you need to know of the hunger.
Exactly.
He's gonna set the tone for the team. He's gonna set the tone for the team. He's gonna be a true leader, which we all know he is. That shows you the heart that he has. He has a heart of a lion. And now what's gonna happen is we need a little luck. We need some health. We got to stay healthy.
Right.
And if we stay healthy and a little luck with the football gods, because Lord knows they owe us, please.
Oh, they owe us a shit ton.
And you know what? With that, let's stack the wins, home field, and let's raise a Lombardi trophy. Because when we go out to Vegas, it'll be dominated by the Jet fans. I don't care who we play. It won't matter. When I tell you that New York will show up to Vegas. We will take over Vegas. It might as well have been the 5 boroughs and all of Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, okay, Manhattan. It's going to be Suffolk, Nassau. It's going to be Jersey. It's going to be Bergen County and Hudson County and Ocean County. And it's going to be up in Connecticut. And it's going to be, and they're going to come from everywhere. They're going to come from Canada. They're going to come from England. They're going to come from Ireland. They're going to come from California. They're going to come from Ohio. They're going to come from Texas. They're going to come from everywhere. And it's going to be dominated by the green and white.
Oh, man.
Green and white, baby.
Man, you need to do the intro video.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my gosh. I got goosebumps. I'm going to cry.
What a promo, Ed.
Oh, my God. You need to do that as a promo. But, Liam, you got anything else you want to ask Mr. Fireman Ed here?
I could talk to Ed all night. So
Right.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Listen, let me tell you something. We're going to enjoy. Remember what I told you, fellas.
Right.
It was a pleasure being on your podcast.
Appreciate you,
It was an honor, a true honor.
Appreciate
Listen
you,
to me. I want to first off thank both of you for representing the green and white.
That means a lot.
I know your heart. I know your heart. I know where it's at.
Yes, sir.
You guys, what did I tell you before? You guys are the ones that pump me up. The young blood, I love it. I know your hunger. I know your desire. That's why I come on these podcasts, because I appreciate you guys, and I want you to get the ink, man. I want to see you get popular and more popular, and because you're preaching the Bible. You're preaching the Jet Bible.
Amen.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
And it's going to remember what I told you. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
It starts today. I was on your podcast. You're going to see me. You're going to see me on TMZ. I was just on 1010 Wins.
There you go.
I'm going to be on CBS. I'm going to just, and it's all about, it's not about me. It's about preaching the Jet fans and their hunger and their desire to win a world championship. And we just got the Messiah. The Messiah just came. Enjoy the journey, fellas. Enjoy the journey.
Can I get a JETS, Jets before you leave? Yeah? Hey.
Jets. Let's go.
Fireman Ed.
All the best. Let's go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. You have a great night.
You too, brother.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it, man.
Woo!
Wow.
Man, I'm about to cry. I'm about to
go run through a brick wall.
But guys, you can you can follow Fireman Ed right here. Follow Instagram. He's the man. He's the legend. Woo, man, that was a great episode. Holy crap.
That was great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody else I'd rather talk to on the night that we trade for Aaron Rodgers than
Yes.
the voice of the Jets himself,
Yes.
Fireman freaking Ed.
A lot of
Oh.
technical difficulties, but it was good. It
Hey,
was good.
Ed's allowed to. Ed does
yes.
what Ed does what Ed
Yes.
wants.
Yes, but that's okay. Technical difficulties is what comes along with this stuff, and it's totally fine. Totally fine. I love it. Liam, where can we find you, buddy?
You can't.
No, you can't, huh? Boom! You can.
There I am.
You can.
Yes, you can.
You can follow Liam right here on Instagram. You can follow me on these social media platforms. And you can follow everything NYJ on these social media platforms. Also, you know what to do with Fireman Ed. Please follow Fireman Ed because we just got the best news. Look at this. This is stacked. Look at this. This is what we want. He's going to bring the heat. It's time. It's time. We got McGovern back. You know, we got people breaking the news. This is what we want. And also, I'm just going to say this because Liam brought this up today.
Finally, it's time!
Exactly. Finally, and it's time. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, man. There's no way I could go to sleep tonight. I'm going to be up all night, you know.
I bet you are. I probably might have too. I'm going to need to take a walk, though. But we appreciate everybody in the comments. Everyone that comment. You people are from South America. I have a friend from Cuba that was in the chat tonight. We've got people from Europe, Canada, and the United States. Thank you for everything. We're on the journey, man. And let's go win a damn Super Bowl. Liam, always a pleasure with you, my man. And we will see you Wednesday. We have a special guest on Wednesday. We will be sharing that tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we'll see you Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Talk Jets soon. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Boom.